Welcome back to One Sober to Another. I'm Wayne, and I'm an alcoholic. Guess what, folks? Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and this is a salute to our veterans. Let's go. Wow, folks, 245 years that the United States military has been around. It started with the Continental Army, and I'm sitting in my uniform from 1997. That's when I enlisted in the United States Army after being homeless for almost 2 years. I figured if I could be homeless, I could join the U.S. Army and pretty much do anything that I want to do. Well, that was absolutely true, so they shipped me off to Fort McClellan, Alabama, which is probably not a training installation anymore, but that's where I went as a chemical NCO in order to be trained how to do things, all chemical, nuclear, biological, and radiological. From there, I went on to Fort Carson, Colorado. Beautiful place. Pikes Peak Mountain is quite awesome. And I spent only 18 months there where I achieved 4 ranks, people. 4 ranks from E0 to E4. And I thought I was on top of the world. We're still rolling, so we're good to go. So I served with a lot of people then, and I didn't really understand the importance of what a veteran was. I had this image in my head that it was, some old people sitting around a coffee table or sitting around Burger King drinking coffee talking about all the times they had in the war. I also knew a couple Vietnam veterans, and most of them were a little off, and that's okay because the Vietnam War, the Vietnam conflict was an engagement that was so gruesome and so grotesque that a lot of people didn't come back quite right from that, and there's a whole lot of other stipulations that went into that, but that's not what this video is about. It's about salute to service, and this is what we're doing. So I knew a whole lot of people as I went along in my career, and when I got ready to leave Fort Carson, Colorado, I realized just how many people are serving because the population around Fort Carson, Colorado, it's humongous. You have Denver, you have Aspen, you have Golden, you have all these other places that are nowhere near the military installation. However, you have the Space Command there as well, and not the Space Force, maybe now, but the Missile Command. And you have an Air Force base, and you also have Fort Carson, Colorado. A gargantuan amount of military service members all in one region. And that's an amazing thing, and it's an amazing testament to what we can do as a nation, as well as how far we can spread and strategically place ourselves within the globe. And then I went to Korea. As many of you know, or you may not know, I don't know what hole you've been hiding in, we had the Korean War. In the Korean War, a lot of lives were lost as well. And it's a debt of gratitude that we have to give people who decide to serve in the first place, and some of them just don't make it back. That's what war is, and that's the ultimate sacrifice as a service member, is to give your life. I've known a few people that ended up paying the ultimate price, and I myself almost paid the ultimate price a couple times. I have a couple combat deployments, and we're going to build up to that in just a second. And, it's hard to watch how a lot of other folks are dismissive of that because of the insignificance that they feel service members have. And I got it. We are unlike any other group of people on the freaking earth, as far as what our mentality is, our work ethic, our drive and stamina and so forth. And the understanding of how we process problem solving is a little bit different than the average person. It is what it is. That's why service members are freaking awesome. And that's why I decided to shoot this video in the first place. I will be right back, folks. We're going to transition and kind of change it up a little bit, all right? And so we're leaving Korea. We're about to go to Germany. Are you ready for it? Boom. All right, so we're back again. Guess what? I just moved to a new organization in Germany, and we are transitioning the way the Army feels that we operate on the battlefield. We are going strictly from a desert uniform, which I used in OIF-1, the war in Iraq, and it quickly became a option of, is that what we really want to wear? Well, this is what we chose, and this is called the, what is it, folks? The Army Combat Uniform, right? The ACU. And the digital pattern on it was supposed to be able to break up the battlefield in an urban environment. That was the basis. So there I was, just before I got to Germany, and we were wearing that uniform that you just saw before, which are our BDUs, the battle dress uniform. About, I don't know, if you count the amount of soldiers that wore this uniform, and you count the amount of service members that came after me, and if you count the amount of money that it takes in order to drive a battle, as well as to outfit an entire force, then you can understand the size of the service members. Veterans are everywhere. Veterans are the bloodline of America, and we have to salute them in order to show the appreciation that we have for what we have. And this video is strictly about that. So I went to the war in Iraq, right? Me and my buddy Eric Christ. Eric Christ didn't come back the way I did. He had a couple issues going on, and he just kind of faded away from the military, and everybody forgot about him because he ended up staying in Germany. I didn't forget about him. Hats off to you, brother, if you ever see this. And that's just the way that we have to do, you know, for the veterans and service members that we encounter throughout our day. Show a little appreciation, because they're out there pushing the front lines, be it if it's pushing fuel, if it's, you know, kicking indoors, ground pounding, if it's shooting rounds in the air out of a howitzer, if it's firing a paladin, if it's, there goes the howitzer part, if it's firing, you know, javelins and everything else on the front line as fisters or infantrymen, we got to show our support, because that kind of thing takes a toll on a person, and it's really, really important that they know that they're not forgotten. Because a lot of times we come home and it's, see you, buddy, thanks for service. Well, we're going to say bye-bye now. So I did 20 years in the United States Army, and I held many positions. I deployed multiple times to forward combat areas, and I've done my due diligence as a soldier and a leader, and I've come out on the other side of it. Not without a few bumps in the road, as anybody who watches one sober to another will know. Definitely not unscathed, but I did get the opportunity to move on from Germany after I came back from the war, and I went to Fort Hood, Texas, and I ended up taking up a platoon sergeant position, as well as I once in a while stood in for the first sergeant. I was a daggone E5. I thought that was pretty freaking awesome. So there I was, and you know, I'm at Fort Hood and everything else, and my time comes up again, and I'm like, what's going on? It's time to move, they say. It's time to transition. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But while I was there, I met so many people, and that whole area of Fort Hood and Killeen, Texas is pipelined through the economic balance of the military presence that is there. If you ever been to Killeen, you know what I'm talking about. Yes. So there I was, and I was on my way back to Germany. It's such a weird factor in transition periods that, you know, I'm getting a little confused of what my pattern in life is, and, you know, stateside doesn't seem to be the way I'm flying. So it doesn't matter if you're Air Force, Army, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, National Guard, Army Reserve, Navy, it doesn't matter. We salute you, and that's what this day is about for you. Moving on, we're gonna almost finish this up, but I want to transition one more time. Wait for it. Whoa, feels like I'm doing uniform drills all the way from basic training again. So look, if you can't tell now, this is not the first uniform that I had on. As a matter of fact, This is the last uniform that I transitioned out of the United States Army in my retirement in 2018. I wore this as an instructor, and I also wore this in Poland while deployed, and we transitioned to this from the Army combat uniform, and this started out as OCP. Help me out on the acronym here. I'm getting all wrapped up in them. You know, there's so many. And none of you DA PAM 670-1 or AR 670-1 hunters of regulation better come at me or leave me comments in the comment section below about how my uniform is all jacked up and I didn't shave today. So guess what? I'm retired, folks, and I did my service, and I'm saluting you again, because military service cannot be pushed aside or forgotten. There's so much impact that someone who gives their life, you know, I can't even describe it. If it's a Purple Heart, if it's a Silver Star, if it's a Bronze Star, you know, Congressional Medal of Honor, a lot of these accolades that come with laying your life on the line or putting yourself in harm's way in order to save somebody else, hats off and salute to you. And if you see somebody today with a Purple Heart on their hat or on their chest or on their license plate, you give them your parking space. You offer them your gratitude. Just say thank you for your service. And that's all you have to do, folks. Just simply thank them for their service. You may get a weird look and maybe a "you're welcome" or "my pleasure." And in some cases, just a quick head nod, because some of the stuff we can't really process anymore the way that it is, because it's something that we would normally do anyway versus having to be thanked for it. And that's really the way I see it. And that's the way a lot of my fellow comrades in arms, that's the way they see it as well. If anybody is around, you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. So there are a lot of folks that I could thank for their service, and I'm gonna do that right now, and not by name. I'm gonna simply say, hey, you guys, you gals, it was my pleasure to serve with you, and it was my honor to be under your leadership, or it was my honor to lead you either in combat or in garrison. From the bottom of my heart, veterans, thank you for your service. And if you're the loved one of someone who gave the ultimate sacrifice, my heart's with you, and I salute you. One sober to another. God, I wish I had more time, but I don't. America appreciates your service. I appreciate your service. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy your day. Take advantage of some of the benefits because you've earned them. And guess what, folks? I'm one sober to another. I didn't ask you to subscribe, just watch. Take care, people. See you later.